Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nate City Sofa, a Cyberpunk RED talk show. I am Jesper or Jess, and I will be your host for tonight's show. I'm the host for all the night's show. I don't know why I say that. I'm your host, and joining me tonight is Games. Hey, buddy. How's it going?
Hi, I'm Games. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. You guys can find me here on Twitch on mostly over the weekend, playing games or talking about Cyberpunk RED, or you can find me over on Zays vs. Death on Saturdays, not tomorrow, playing Shades of Scarlet, our ongoing Cyberpunk RED campaign. You can also find out my other Cyberpunk RED content on Blue Sky. I post like trivia and things of that nature, as well as Patreon, where I release homebrew like monthly. So you can check that out. What about you, Games? Where can people find you?
Same place. Mostly in your channel, but in the chat. No, I'm on Saves vs. Death. I have my own Twitch stuff I do. Not great, but I'm there. I've got like 3 YouTube channels. Nothing really to report at the moment. There's about like 4 projects that I'm in the middle of starting for saves that are going nowhere at the moment. But like months ago, me and different groups of people were like, yeah, let's do a thing. And yeah, nothing to report yet.
That sounds accurate. Well, tonight we're going to talk about the Cyberpunk RED April DLC, the 12 Days of Cutiemas. This DLC, like every April DLC before it, is a beautiful blend of off-the-wall and functional. You can find all the Cyberpunk RED DLCs on the Talsorian Games website. The link will be in the chat or the video description below. And it's also on the screen. Alternatively, you can download them individually or by year as a bundle over on DriveThruRPG. So if you've never picked them up, it's like a few simple clicks and you can get all of them in one go, which is fantastic. Before we get into today's show, I want to remind you all that if you have any questions or comments, post them in chat or comment below, and we will answer them as best we can. Finally, we may talk about events that occur during Saves vs. Death's Cyberpunk RED campaign, Shades of Scarlet, so this is your general spoiler warning. We'll try to say it before we say anything, but sometimes we forget, so there may be spoilers. And with that, unless Games has anything to add...
I do not.
Okay, we'll get into the DLC. So it was written and designed by James Hutt and Jay Gray. It is kind of an Xmas in April type DLC, as it follows the template and lore of other Cyberpunk RED December DLCs. This one is connected to the one we got in December, which is the 12 Days of Redmas, as per the lore on the first page. But before we get into that, I just want to take a look at this really awesome cover art that I'm going to try to manipulate and not break everything. We'll see how that goes. Oh, it's behind my camera, so let's just... Ooh, I'm gonna break everything. So I'm not going to do that, but you guys should take a look at the cover art in a larger format, because it's absolutely phenomenal. It definitely screams Cyberpunk for me, anyway.
Oh, for sure.
The character pictured is Corpse Reviver, the main character in the story and leader of the Piranhas, a party gang divided across Night City in various shoals. Corpse Reviver is at the top of them all, and you can find more about the gang and that character in Danger Gal Dossier. This is also the first...
I was gonna say... Sorry.
No? Go ahead.
Nope, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, this is the first time we've had, like, art that's not... Because otherwise I think it's just the mini that's in...
The token
on
art,
her page. That's... Yeah. That we've gotten. So this is, like, the first official, like, art.
I was gonna say, if you watch Artel's video on it, they talk about this picture and getting it drawn, and that they got, like, 8 or 9 copies of, like, just quick sketches of the photo, and, you know, he picked this one because he loved the pose. And I want to see what the other ones were, because I'm really interested.
Right?
I'm sure they never went anywhere, but... It's a neat photo.
I like that the belt buckle says boss on it. Like that's so very fitting.
Right.
But yeah, so let's get into the lore. So the DLC gives a glimpse into the life of Piranha Leader Corpse Reviver. She's looking through her spreadsheets while on Boost to find why her revenue is so low. It's a nice nod that despite being a party gang, there's still paperwork to do, payments to be collected, and punishment to dole out when there's an issue. If you're a GM or a player who's maybe looking to reskin Lawman into a ganger, or a gang member, this is some things to consider. It's also worth noting that Corpse Reviver is an exec. That is their role. So if you're ever wondering how an exec can fit into a group, here you go. Corpse Reviver is a really good example. In the rest of the lore, Corpse Reviver is interrupted by her teammates who bring her a present that was left in the bathroom. The tag reads from Santa, and contained within the box is a chip with blueprints for weapons from Sanru, specifically the Hello Cutie line. Corpse Reviver is excited, and the lore comments that now they can provide these as a present for the G3. The G3 were mentioned in Night City Atlas and are a disturbingly violent anime-themed poser gang. And I believe this is the first time we've seen a link between the Piranhas and G3. Not counting, like, 2020 books, because I don't know 2020 lore. So, don't hold me to that.
No, I believe this is the first reference.
Finally, the last little bit of information we get is Corpse Reviver saying she was the one who told Santa where to find Krampus. And of course, Santa took out Krampus in the 12 Days of Redmas DLC lore, which is a nice nod that connects the two of them.
I really liked the way they ended that with that. That she's like, yeah, why'd he give you a gift? And it's like, because I was the one who told him where Krampus was.
So now I'm on the nice list. And apparently good girls and boys get blueprints, so there you go. Finally, I am very thankful to whomever it was that gave us the very small song at the end of this DLC, because the Xmas DLCs, like, I'm so excited for the song at the beginning, and 12 Days of Redmas did not have it, and I was so disappointed, and we got a tiny itty bitty one in this one, and that made me happy. So, to whoever wrote that, thank you. Finally, I just wanted to point out there is a logo presented at the bottom of the first page, which is different from the Sanru logo in the 100 Logos DLC. I believe this one is specific to the Hello Cutie line itself, because you can see the Sanru logo, and then it says Hello Cutie, and it's got a cute little like cat face where the ears are hearts. So additional logo, which never hurts to have.
Right.
And that's all I have for the lore. Is there anything you want to add?
You touched on all the stuff that I wanted to say. I almost interrupted you. I really love that she was talking about how like hard it is to manage her queendom and like keep them in line and all that. But you talked about like the fact that she's an exec running them and all that stuff. So you covered it. I liked that line.
Yeah, just, like commenting on about her festive queendom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's whimsy, but still like I am on top of it all. Everything
right.
I own is mine. Mm. Okay, finally, before we dive into the gear itself, we get a small blurb about the company. Sanru is based out of Japan. In North America, they're best known for their Hello Cutie line of weapons and gear, which is founded by ex-bankers from Fujiwara and ex-weaponsmiths from Tsunami Arms. The tagline for Hello Cutie weapons is, "So adorable, they'll bleed pink." And to start off the DLC and these weapons is the Captain Cuttlefish Ultra Snag'em. This weapon is based on a hero from a beloved children's anime. PS to players and GMs, you could write an ad for the anime, or maybe your character is super into Captain Cuttlefish. I wouldn't be surprised if Wraith gets out of his, Spanish soap operas to get into Captain Cuttlefish anime. Not surprise me in the slightest.
Get super kawaii about everything.
Mm-hmm. This cute cuttlefish allows you to make a melee attack at range or disarm your opponent, and best of all, you can purchase a variety of outfits for it to match your style or preference. Oh, you shake your head, but Wraith would absolutely be like, I'm looking for this exclusive limited edition outfit. If any of my fans could send it to me, I'll get you tickets to my next show.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
That is definitely something he would do.
As for the technical stats, it is a one-handed exotic light melee weapon capable of making a melee attack from up to 10 meters or yards, which is 5 squares away. So if you have a lot of points in melee weapon and not so much in ranged, this is a really great alternative.
Right, for sure.
However, wait, where is it? So light melee deals 1d6 damage, has a rate of fire 2. So from 5 squares away, you could squeeze your captain cuttlefish and hit your opponent with a steel chain twice. Just whap whap. It might not get through the armor. Well, no, because it's a melee weapon, so it goes like half armor.
Yeah, halves armor.
Yeah, halves armor.
It doesn't say it doesn't.
As you squeeze a cuttlefish and just go bunk bunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you use the snag'em to make a held item aimed shot, instead of it being at the normal -8 penalty, it goes down to -6 because it does have a thing at the end that makes it easier. And best of all, you don't need to actually deal damage to succeed, you just need to succeed on the hit.
Yep, which is nice.
Yeah. So as long as you beat the DV, whatever item you wanted is now in your hands. All for the low, low price of 200 EB.
It's very affordable.
Very affordable to just slap someone with chains out of a cuttlefish. I'm just saying.
The next up I'm going to talk about is the Hello Kitty Chromatic Rave Grenades. As a whole, I want to say everything in this is super amazing. I love how adorable it all is. They cost $50, and basically what they are, they're tiny sound and light grenades that you throw out, and they stick to the surface that they hit, and they're portable rave machines. They either just do a thrumming bass sound, or if you put a chip with a song in it, in the grenade, it'll play that song. And then after, I have to check how many rounds. I apologize. After 2 rounds of the light and sound show, of it flashing and stuff like that, it explodes into a cloud of glitter. So with the light show, basically they have a DV13 check for concentration, and if they fail it, they take a -2 on all checks. And when the glitter comes out, it functions as a smoke grenade, which is amazing. The sound chip that you install in it is lost. It is broken, so that's sad. It might get a little expensive, but whatever, it's worth it. My one problem with this is that you can't use it in grenade launchers. I would love to hire, like, my buddies to have grenade launchers with these grenades in it at my shows. But
just have them throw them.
Yeah, I guess. Get one of those dog ball thrower things.
You could. I was thinking, because especially for Wraith, like I love this option for a grenade. But I was thinking especially for Wraith because you can put in your own song tracks. I was like, for a musician, great, but also as a really great oh, I had a word, now it's gone. I'll come back to it. But if you remember in the Winter Soldier movie, Black Widow leaves, I think, their agent out, and it's like, you know, agent down, calling for backup, blah, 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 blah. You could do that, a distraction.
Yeah.
Or a diversion, because it's whatever song, it doesn't say it has to be a song. It's whatever's on that chip.
Could be any audio file.
So it could be an audio file that you could use to pull someone away, and then they get a face full of glitter, which is fantastic.
You could use this as amazing advertising, like
that too.
Try new Baja Fresh tacos.
No.
I think that there's a lot of great uses for these.
There's a lot of great uses for these. Yeah. And even though it acts as a smokescreen, you also know that you've covered whoever it is in glitter, that they're not getting out ever.
For sure. And it would be like the most annoying singing telegram ever. Because you, like, pull the pin, stick it to somebody's door and knock and run away, and when they open the door, it's like, hi, it's your birthday!
6 seconds of song and then confetti. I am so scared now for Wraith to have this. I'm so glad Moxie's birthday passed like 2 months ago. He may forget before it rolls around again.
Val, you're 100% right. I need to have these tech upgraded.
Oh. But yeah, great grenade, and I think there's a lot more uses for it than just like music. You could do so much.
Oh yeah.
Depending on the audio file you put in. And, you know, it gets destroyed after, so no one's ever going to be able to, like, pin it on you.
It's mission impossible. You could give your missions this way to people.
God. That is the worst and best idea we've ever had on the show. Your mission, should you choose to accept it. They're tech upgraded, so they lost 9 seconds, not 6.
Right, yeah. You still have to say, like, what the mission is really quickly. Like, this guy's been kidnapped by Arasaka, you need to quit it. And extract him to the... Second grenade flies out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you get a box of grenades that are labeled 1 through 4.
Yeah, do a shrieker in one of them.
Ooh. But can the shrieker be like one of those, like, streamer effects where it's like, pew! So as the glitter goes, it's just really loud, but still thematic.
It's a great plan. Yep. I like where we're going with this.
This is a horrible... They should never have given us these grenades. Ooh. Alright, on to the Hello Kitty Fisher Kitty. And I love this weapon. The more I looked into it, the more I fell in love with it. So, first for the history, from the 100 Logos DLC, and it's in this DLC as well. We learned that the Savoil exec, Anatoly Novaragov, fell in love with the underground weapon design shop Slam Dance, and then, you know, issued an order that led to its forceful acquisition. So now it's a subsidiary of Savoil. So this DLC states that a handful of the weaponsmiths escaped to Japan, altered the design to make it look like, to add the cat-shaped housing to make it look cute, and then sold it to Sanru. And then after the sale, they went into hiding to evade Anatoly's ire. They were essentially like, fuck you, we're not going to deal with you buying us out. Here, Sanru, you get this thing. All we did was change the housing a little bit. Which means some of them are actually still out there, so who knows, maybe they'll start a revolution. Maybe they'll take back their company. Maybe they'll start another new company. Who knows? As for the Fisher Kitty, it's an exotic heavy pistol with a 4-shot capacity that uses the archery skill. Very important to remember that despite it being a pistol, you do not use the handgun skill to fire this weapon. Which is sad, and I've never wished Moxie could use archery more than this moment. The range is limited to 50 meters. It has a rate of fire 2, does 2d6 damage instead of the usual 3d6 for a heavy pistol. But there's a reason for that. I'll get into in a moment. It also cannot cause a critical injury. So instead of firing weapons, it fires tungsten cable-linked mini harpoons that stick to a target even if it does not penetrate armor or cause damage. So as long as you succeed on the DV, which for archery, like up to like the 25, from 0 to 25, the worst it is 17. So it's not super difficult if you have those points in there. It does do 2d6 damage if it may get through the armor. I just assume that you're probably fighting Dumas where it won't. But if the target has at least 2 harpoons stuck to them, you can spend an action to electrify the weapon, dealing 2d6 damage directly to their HP. If it's 3 or more harpoons, it's 3d6 damage directly to their HP. It takes an action to remove 1 tungsten cable. The gun has a rate of fire of 2. So, after your second hit, chances are you can deal at least 2d6 damage if they took their action to remove a cable each time. when you reload the gun, it retracts all of the mini harpoons, and if the person moves beyond 50 meters, then they all, destick and
pull out.
But this is the same reason I love incendiary rounds, because it forces the action economy. Because whoever I hit can either use their action, and you only get one action, right? So they can either use their action to remove a harpoon, or they have to let it stay there and attack. So I've either removed your attack,
or taken your
the next time
action.
I'm going to zap you for damage.
Yeah.
And given the fact that you only need 2 mini harpoons to stick to someone, in theory, if they're not used to it, or your GM forgets, say, that this is what this weapon does, you can stick 2 harpoons to one person, 2 harpoons to another, and zap them both. Right. And you've effectively taken 2 enemies out of combat, because each turn they'll have to remove a cable, and then the next turn you can just go pew pew and stick it again. And they can either choose not to fire or get electrocuted. And so that's the choice they then have to make. And 2d6 direct to HP is a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not if you roll shitty like I do. Maybe not, at once. But 2 or 3 times? Oh yeah.
Over
Odds
time,
are
that'll get you.
Yeah. So you're forcing them to take their action so that they don't get zapped, which is super important.
Well, like LCC just said, that like if you ambush somebody in an alley and like 4 people got 2 harpoons into you each,
that'd be bad. That'd be so bad. You'd be so fucked. And the weapon's only 500 EB, which is not expensive at all. You need to have the archery skill to use it.
Right.
So.
Which I have.
There you go. Do you have at least 4 points in archery?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have exactly 4 points.
I was like, if you don't have 4 levels, you can spend some IP to get those 4 levels. But yeah, I think this is a great weapon that can really help you manage action economy on the opponent's end.
Right. And I think it would be a fun stationary trap for GMs to use. You have like the shotgun on a string thing when people open the door. Have one of these that just like.
It does need to have at least 2. So
I know.
After the 2 get hit, if they don't use that first action to take a look, as long as if it's only 1, you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. Great weapon. Love it so much.
For sure.
And yes, if you have multiple people wielding multiple of them, it'd be so bad.
Right.
Also, they're one-handed, so I mean, you technically can wield 2. So you yourself could have 8 mini cables out. Just they're both rate of fire 2, so you're kind of limited to how much you can actually, shoot people. Oh, anyway, next up is the Hello Cutie Gun Friend. Engineered by Koshiro Yuzu under a 2-week deadline as a form of workplace bullying. This weapon is a marvel of engineering and a working replica of the main character from the cozy Sanru sports anime. So, no, Sanru now also has an anime show. Best friends forever ballistic range buddies. I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see the other weapons from the show.
For sure.
Yeah. This is what Wraith needs to get into, not Spanish soap operas. Anime. Because we now have 2. Go ahead.
Because the katana, the replica katana that's in Black Chrome was based on an anime which is from Lone Wolf and Little Cub.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
Wraith is getting into the wrong niche, man. You have to switch.
He's not there yet.
One day. This is the gun that is pictured in the cover art, and yes, it does have a pop-up handgun that is popping out of the assault rifle. That's how it works. It is an excellent quality assault rifle, which, as a reminder, excellent quality gives you a +1 to your attacks. And it has 2 slots for attachments. As an action, a user can install or uninstall a one-handed ranged weapon that doesn't need to be concealable for this installation. So it does not need to be a concealable one-handed weapon. And then it's concealed without a check necessary within the frame of the assault rifle. The installed weapon can be drawn or stowed without an action, and when the installed weapon is popped up, pulling the trigger on the assault rifle fires the installed weapon instead. As a note, weapon attachments are not shared. Each weapon must be reloaded separately. So if you use, say, your deeps, and you use assault rifles and a pistol, you can store your pistol in this assault rifle, and when your enemy gets closer, like it switches out of that range, you pop up the handgun without an action, and then you can use that.
Which is pretty awesome.
You could also put the Fisher Kitty in this gun if you wanted. Just saying. Just saying. So call your fixer and nab yours for 1,000 EB.
Yeah, that's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
Speaking of 1,000 EB, also for 1,000 EB, I wanted to discuss the Hello Kitty Hyper Hammer. So basically, more or less, it's just your generic giant hammer that you can swing at things. Unless you happen to have a body of 9 or higher, and then it does an additional d6, so instead of 4d6, it does 5d6 damage, which is crazy. The big thing about it is there's a core in it that allows it more momentum in less range. And the important thing is that you can buy it in different breeds. It comes in different collector's edition colors, such as Bengal, Egyptian Mao, Sphinx. I love that, it's a hammer, but it comes in different breeds of cats.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's, your generic cutesy hammer, because everyone needs one.
I mean, Moxie does have the hyper pistol. It would make sense if she got a matching hyper hammer.
Yeah.
The problem is the body 9 necessary. Did you mention what happens if you don't have a body 9?
I did not. I didn't see that there was something. If you have a body of lower than 8, the weapon insults the user after each attack, issuing mocking put-downs in a nasal, high-pitched voice from a hidden speaker. I didn't even read that the first time I read this, and I've read it twice.
Yeah,
and I didn't
if you
read
have a
that
body 8, which is the max you can get a character creation, or lower, it pokes fun at you every time you use it.
Oh yeah, nice swing, buddy.
Even if you hit, it still mocks you. I was like, is that why I didn't look at the hammer? Oh yeah, because there's no way Mox can get a body 9. So...
We'll get you a linear frame.
No.
I know some people who make them.
No, you don't. I do, and I still say no. Oh. Alright, so next is the Hello Kitty Janus Hex and the Janus Hex Heavy Scent Balls. This weapon has been custom made by Sanru in partnership with the chromatic rock idol group Take Your Best Shot. So, by the way, if you're looking for a chromatic rock band to, for your player to really like, there you go. The band members Tyler Yuuto, Benny, and Shintaro have personally tested, so it says, and improved this weapon that's designed to politely fend off unwanted attention. Each weapon comes with its own sensible slim-fit holster, which easily converts into a purse holster via a robust pop-out titanium clip. Which I like that. I like that it was like, well, you could also do this. So what is the Janus Hex? It's an excellent quality, concealable, very heavy pistol with a 2-shot capacity. The weapon fires a proprietary eye-irritant heavy scent ball round that deals 1d6 damage, which isn't a lot, which is, part of the point. But if the target has meat eyes, they must succeed a DV-15 resist torture drug check or suffer a -3 penalty to ranged attack checks, melee attack checks, and vision-based perception checks for the duration of the effect, which is an hour or until you spend 10 minutes flushing out your eyes with water. If you succeed, the penalty drops to -1, but no matter what, there is still a penalty because of the scent that comes off of these balls.
Which is awesome.
Now, the DSS is incapable of all magazine attachments, meaning 2 is the maximum number of heavy scent balls that can be in the weapon. The ammo comes in packs of 4 with over 30 scents available, and each scent ball is marked with the face of one of the idol group's 4 members. Now, this proprietary ammunition cannot be modified or fabricated by a tech unless they possess Maker Rank 6 or higher. So you cannot alter these immediately at character creation. But eventually you could.
Right.
The weapon is 500 EB with a 4-pack of ammo costing 20 EB each. All I could think of is, like, these things, like, filled with, like, Axe body spray. Like, just to an ungodly, horrible amount of it burns, why?
This is awful.
Yeah.
It's just really bad perfume.
Yes.
Also for 500 EB, and if you like doing it yourself, Sanrio employees complained about attending company paintball days that were ultra dull. So they made mod balls. You can load them into a medium pistol with a 5-shot capacity. And then we've got a variety. The Dazzle Ball, the Mega Ouchie Ball, the Ouchie Ball, the Slippy Ball, and the Splashy Ball. The reason I say that it's do-it-yourself is that a tech can reload and make the ammo if they'd like, but a non-tech, if you buy the Mod Ball Construction Kit, which costs 100 EB, can craft their own ammunition for it as if they were a tech with Fabricate 2, which is awesome, and that means that I could make them myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would be terrible at it, but I could do it. But the individual balls each do different things. Like the Dazzle ball acts as flashbang ammunition. It only hits a single target with the attack, but it also can ignite the Splashy mod ball, which I'll discuss at the end. But yeah, basically it's like a small explosion in your face instead of a paintball. The Mega Ouchie mod ball, which acts as a biotoxin ammunition. The Ouchie, which acts as poison ammunition. The Slippy, which acts as a super lubricant. I like that in this it says the effects of both shooting it on like yourself and on shooting it on surfaces, because if you shoot yourself with it, you get a bonus +1 to all contortion checks, and brawl, like escaping being grappled checks, which is awesome. But if you shoot it at a surface, it creates a 2-meter, 1 square area that's covered in lubricant, and anybody who attempts to stand or pass through that area must succeed a DV13 athletics check or fall prone onto the ground. It takes 5 minutes of washing with water to clean it up, and it dries after an hour. Once it's dry, it's no longer slippery and has no effect. But I like that in a pinch you could use it on yourself effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Like to like try to slip out of something.
Yep.
And then last is the Splashy mod balls, which are paintballs, but the paint is super flammable. They don't do any damage when they hit you, but if something does ignite them, then it counts as being lightly on fire, and you take 2 points to your HP whenever your turn ends. Multiple instances don't stack. Paint removal takes 5 minutes of washing with water to remove, though you can put it out with a single action like normal, lightly being on fire. But combining the Splashy with the Dazzle, you can hit them with the paint and then light the paint on fire. And it does specifically say you can load as many different types of ammunition as you'd like.
And you can switch between them.
Yeah.
And a medium pistol has a rate of fire too, so you could do Splashy, switch, and then Dazzle. Like instantly.
Splash Dazzle.
Yeah. So flashbang and fire. Go.
Right.
Yeah.
And then hit them with the biotoxin while they're trying to put themselves out.
Next turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lord Jesus Christ had a question about wondering if we treat fabricating ammo as basic tech or weapons tech. And our tech hasn't actually made anything, really. So, hard to say, but I think Blank would rule it as weapons tech.
Yeah, I think so. Knowing the way he usually judges things, I would say that's probably true.
Because ammo is for a weapon, therefore it falls under weapons tech as opposed to just like basic circuitry. Would be my guess.
Yeah. Next, also for 500 EB, this is Clinic Insult. And Jess and I had a conversation about this because I really want them. And she's like, I don't think they're that great, but I feel like they are amazing. They're razor-sharp, retractable cat claws with a monomolecular tip at the end. Basically, they're claws that come out over your fingers that work like a mono blade does. I mean, you're at very close range with it, of course. But they are an excellent quality medium melee weapon. It does 1d6 damage and can be successfully concealed without a check no matter what. Damage dealt by this weapon ignores armor entirely if it's lower than 11 SP. But if it's higher than 11, it halves SP, as if normal things typically do. Yeah, but her point, and it does say, when the claws are out, you're incapable of holding things, so you couldn't like have a gun or a weapon or anything really while you're using them. But I feel like they're a last resort weapon. Like if it comes to needing to take your claws out, then
at 1d6 when you've actually ablated the armor to a point where 1d6 damage means something.
Right.
Because 1d6 is just, it's so low. That's the thing.
Well, but so it ignores all armor if it's under 11.
If it's under 11, 1d6 is not going to get through 11 at any point.
Assuming you shot him a few times.
Well, that's the thing. You have to shoot them a few times before you can use it.
Ooh, yeah. Karate?
So, yeah, again, like Game said, it, as a last resort or in conjunction with something else that you're already doing, it makes a lot more sense.
Right.
Oh yeah, the armor breaking combination, because you do have to hit with a melee attack. That's right. You could use the claws for that.
Yeah.
So, not that they're not handy. I just, given the scale of fights that Blank puts us in,
right,
they are so not useful. Even if it's lower than 1 SP, dealing like at best 3 points of damage, I'm gonna die before I actually like hurt this person.
Right.
So that it just comes from trauma of heavy fights. That's all. Not saying it's a bad weapon.
Right.
But also, mind you, like when we were spoiler alert, when we were captured because they're concealable with a check, it would be nice to have that because you could cut through rope and stuff if you were ever like bound or something, which I don't think happens very often.
They're mono, it would be real effective at that.
Yes. So situationally, I think very effective. Otherwise, you know, like you'd have to, if you wanted to use them regularly, you'd have to tailor like the whole character around the paw, which I may do. I just may make a character that is just based around the mono paw.
I could see it. You could make a good character. Yeah. And, yeah, once we see more martial arts added in the very near future, I think it'll make a big difference. Monopod with capoeira.
We'll see. We'll see. I believe you've got the next one, too.
I do. I had 3 in a row.
You had 3 in a row. Yeah, because you wanted to talk about all these wonderful things.
Oh, yeah. This one, because Wraith needs it. So this is the Hello Cutie, my friend Ocelot. The Ocelot. Which is listed as a good home defense weapon to have. Basically, it's a shotgun covered in Ocelot patterned real skin, which is super weird to me, but it's fuzzy and cuddly and a shotgun, and it has a built-in warmer to heighten the experience, so you can cuddle with your shotgun, which I find amazing. Specs-wise, it is an excellent quality shotgun with 12-shot capacity, firing only shotgun slug ammunition, It has an auto fire at 4 times, alternate fire mode, and uses SMG auto fire DV table. Yeah. When firing the weapon in auto fire, 4 slugs are expended instead of 10. And the weapon can be reloaded by a user using the correct biometric key. To input the key, the user must pet the weapon as an action, which unlocks the weapon's ammunition chamber for 9 seconds. And of course you can't put like extended magazines or anything in it because that would just look silly.
I like that you pet it and it purrs and it opens the ammo slot and it's covered in fur, so if you can't afford an actual cat,
it's just as good.
There you go.
Yeah, it is one of the best auto fire efficient ammo efficiencies.
100%. Creepy though. I couldn't. I don't think I could.
When I was reading it, I just I want to love everything in this DLC, and I love it for a lot of good reasons. But also, like, I kind of get the heebie-jeebies
from this one, right?
About it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I can cuddle with my shotgun.
My landlord doesn't allow pets being cuddled with my shotgun. It likes chin rubs. It probably does, actually.
You pet it.
No. Tech upgrade. Go for it. That would be insane, but... yeah. So that's my friend the Ocelot.
Yep.
So moving on to the Hello Kitty Thundercat Bat. The weapon was created to celebrate Japan's love of baseball, ensuring every crack of the bat pops with the sonic boom energy of a home run. The speaker on the end of this stylized stun baton has been carefully calibrated to produce the same decibels as the glass-shattering game-winning hit by FPC, which is like the full-body conversion, superstar Mashi Thundercat Suzuki in the All Japan Championship of 2043.
We all remember that.
Yes, obviously, it's iconic. So this is a two-handed, excellent quality stun baton, and it has links to it, but just in case you're unsure, a stun baton is an exotic medium melee weapon that deals 2d6 damage. If damage dealt by it would reduce target to 0 HP or less, you can instead choose to make them unconscious at 1 HP. Damage dealt by stun batons, in this case, the bat, cannot cause a critical injury, and it does not ablate armor. So those are the properties of stun baton.
Right.
So for the bat, in addition to that, a target hit by this weapon must succeed a DV15 resist torture drug check. On a failure, they suffer the damaged ear critical injury without the extra bonus damage. And the critical ear injury, I didn't realize this. Whenever you move further than 4 meters on foot in a turn, so it's 2 squares, you cannot take a move action the next turn.
Yep.
And you are at a -2 penalty to any perception checks involving hearing.
Yeah,
also,
we've had that happen once in game.
Yeah. No, I don't think we've actually had a damaged ear.
It was during the bullet mission. Because there was an explosion that went off next to somebody's face. Maybe.
I don't recall. I'll trust you.
Anyway.
Also, a user without ear protection must also make this check whenever they make a hit with the weapon. So, for $750, the Thundercat Bat can be yours. Ear protection sold separately.
Which I love.
Yes.
Hey, can I retcon something real quick? Because I'm a professional. I forgot to mention with the Hyper Bat, one of the things I really enjoyed is that if you get a critical injury, you roll twice on the table and pick one you like.
Yes! I forgot about that.
I feel like that's worth mentioning.
It's hugely worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Back to me talking about installed things.
Also, by the way, sorry, before we get into that, adding this kind of speaker to other, like, melee weapons could be a real fun tech upgrade. Just
right.
For note, make sure you have ear protection. And if you have amplified hearing cyberware, turn that shit Off.
Just mute.
Yeah. Nope.
I'm going to talk about the Hello Cutie Sparkle Eyes. $250 clinic install. Humanity loss is 3 or 1d6. And basically the way it works is that it is a Cyber Eye option. It requires 2 slots. And you light up your eyes like a giant flashlight. And any meat eyes or cyber optics within 25 meters or 12 squares makes a DV-15 resist torture drug check. No check is required if they have anti-dazzle or anything like that. But if they fail, then they take the damaged eye critical injury for 1 minute. So basically your eyes just like...
Well, the best part is it's not eyes, because it doesn't have to be paired. It literally could just be one eye.
Oh, it's true. You're right.
You could just, like, wink and have it just flashbang them. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And for the I'm trying to think if there's anything I wanted to say about that, but I don't think there was. The last piece of gear is the Husafel hydraulic underjack. And I am such a fan of gear that replaces cyberware. Especially if you have low starting empathy, or you've put enough cyberware that you're at low and you don't quite want to dip into cyberpsychosis. Having gear that does the same effect is super handy.
Right.
So this underjack was designed for urban combat use from Icelandic startup and newest in partner, Husafel. It's concealable, lightweight, and has a powerful hydraulic support of the upper body, increasing the user's ability to carry and use heavy weaponry without invasive cyberware. When worn, this hydraulic support-laced undershirt increases a user's body by 2. Cannot raise your body above 9. Or above 10, sorry, I don't know why I said 9. Cannot raise body above 10. This increase to body does not stack with any other body-increasing effects, such as grafted muscle and bone lace, linear frames, etc. It is 1000 EB, but if your character isn't into cyberware or just needs a small boost to their body, this is a great option. So if you don't have... Say you wanted to use the Hyper Hammer, but you only have a body of 8 and you don't want to add more cyberware, undershirt. You just put on this undershirt. It says you could sleep in it. It's waterproof. So souls can just bathe and sleep in it all the time. But I like the idea of putting on this undershirt so you can lift your Hyper Hammer so that you're not going to get yelled at by its annoying voice when you wield it. Plus, you'll do the extra damage. So, right. As long as you start with a body of 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe you get up to body 8, so you can use the Hyper Hammer, though it'll still make fun of you.
Yeah.
Blind an enemy with a wink of true anime magical girl power. So true.
I could see this being effective with martial arts, too, speaking of martial arts.
Oh, using it to increase their body to get the unarmed damage up. That's true, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yep. And yes, heroic, it's because my humanity is very low, so any gear that I can use...
that does it for you.
that doesn't drop me into cyberpsychosis would be great. Actually, Moxie has a body 5, so to get it to a 7 so that her brawling does that extra d6 more damage.
Right.
Would not be bad.
Be worth it.
Except, she's really good with melee weapons, and that at least goes half armor, so.
This is also kind of expensive, so.
But if you want to, without the cyberware, or you need that little bit of a boost, 100% worth it. 100% worth it.
I will say that something I really appreciate about this is that none of this is super broken. All of this is usable, which is something that they talked about when they want to do April Fool's DLCs. They always try to make things that are usable in game and, things that you can put in and don't break the world. They use the toggle temple formatting for the weapons and all that. So it's all unified and easy to understand. I appreciate all of that. I'm sad that last year's is the only one that they're like, this is not canon. The rest of it is canon, but this one This one is not. So I do appreciate that all of this is very usable in game.
If you guys want to hear more from Rob and Jay, you can follow the link that's currently in chat or in the video description below, and that'll take you to the Talsorian Games' YouTube channel, and specifically that video where they talk about this DLC from a mechanical standpoint.
Yeah, which was really worth the watch, so check it out.
And in addition to what you said, these weapons also serve as templates for, you know, if you have a tech that wants to upgrade it, or again, like you said, homebrew something in your game. These are great, like, new ways of being like, how can we do this that's not game breaking?
Yeah.
But still leave that wiggle room for a tech to upgrade it further.
For sure. Did you want to discuss the song now that we're there?
I wasn't going to sing the song. I already commented on it. I'm good.
Okay.
I don't need to. I would like to grow an audience, not lose them. Check out the song.
I'll give you
that. The last thing I do want to point in, this is not actually about this DLC, but the Night Market Index did get updated with all these weapons, so you can find all of this in there. But also, they added at the very end a list of all weapons that have been released by company. So if you want to see what Slamdance made, you can look at all the things that Slamdance, that has been released under, you know, by Slamdance. Right now, Biotechnica is in the lead because of the FBC packages, or the exotic packages rather, and the pets. But right below them is Militech.
That makes so much sense.
So, but I like that as an added little thing where you could just now search and see like what's been released by which company.
Which is cool.
So they've added more to the index to make it even more useful, which is fantastic.
And I'm glad they're staying on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Slamdance poster boy. Slamdance has some really cool weapons.
Yeah, they do.
So I understand why for players Rocker Boy would support it. That's all that I have for this DLC.
Yep.
It's a fun one. Go pick it up. Go find things. Use Fisher Kitties on everything. Get your archery skill up.
I need those grenades.
We need
the rave grenades.
We need those grenades.
Yeah.
So bad. And they're so cheap. 50 EB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I waste 50 EB like every session on something stupid.
You do. You'll be like, a pack of cigarettes, you'll be like, it's 10 EB. Well, I was going to spend 50. Okay.
I'm going to tip 40.
Yeah. But not the cab drivers. They still have you blacklisted.
I think I have a week until my blacklist is over.
Yeah, you're still down to like half a star. This user is half a star. But that will conclude this episode of Night City Sofa. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Please let us know what you thought about this segment and any future things you might like to see discussed. You can leave a comment in the comment section, of course, of this YouTube video, via my Blue Sky or Patreon, or on the Saves vs. Death Discord, whichever is easiest for you. I will get it. Night City Sofa will not air next week. I'm going to take the week off. And then I will return on April 18th to start the first of a mini-series to go over Tales of the Red Forlorn Hope. So the first episode, I'm going to talk about the opening story, A Tale of Hope, and then go over the new rules that are found in the supplement. So if you are a player, the first episode will not contain mission spoilers. You can come and enjoy and learn what the Forlorn Hope book is about, what new rules got added, and the intro story, which is really inspiring and a great look at a type of media you can play, and how to kind of like build a story around a location. So I will see you April 18th for that, and until next time, stay frosty.